Welcome to the DudeFax podcast. We're so glad you're here. We're four guys that are united by a love for coffee, Jesus, and corny jokes. In the past, we all served in ministry together. In the present, we create podcasts to help you get through your week. And in the future, we aspire to be the granddad that teaches his grandkids to pull his finger. So if you love Java, Jesus, and dad jokes, you're going to fit right in. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of Joe, and enjoy this week's episode of the DudeFax podcast.
Happy New Year! Woo!
Heyo. This is where we need that balloon effect that
If
happened
you're
earlier.
if you're listening to this at midnight, let this be one of the first things you hear.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Pickle fell.
Oh, man.
If you're going to do
I'll
anything
rectify that.
for 2024 to kick off the new year,
Rectify it?
taste the goodness of the biscuit.
That's right. As Grant's pickle just
What a
committed
I'll
suicide.
erect
what of a
the pickle.
terrible omen for 2024.
The pickle falling.
It's going to be terrible.
Man,
That's right.
Oh.
So
all over again.
happy 2024, and we are happy to bring in the new year with you. If you are listening to this, you're missing out. 'Cause Grant is providing some visual stimulus for your eyeballs this new year.
Man.
Glad to see some things don't change with the years.
Oh, yeah.
So, we are excited about a new year and a new year specifically of DudeFax. And we thought, as we're bringing in the new year with this little quick dollop that we want to drop on you, that we would share a little bit about what we're going to be talking about in 2024. So, Josh, I know we've been discussing some topics. Why don't you share a little bit about what is to come in this new year?
Well, I'd like to add to this list something that just happened that we will probably need to discuss and maybe later in the year. But the ramifications of the pickle falling, of Grant's pickle hitting the ground. I think we'll have to go back and see.
At some point in 2024, we'll need a retrospective, like going back to
Yes.
the pickle drop.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a bad deal.
Yeah.
So instead of the ball dropping,
big
it's the
deal.
pickle.
Yeah, or a big deal. Yeah. Yeah, so we had talked about, we've been talking about some of our topics of discussion for next year. And I'll tell you, we want to talk about what you want us to talk about. So we've got things scheduled, well, maybe not scheduled yet, but that we're going to schedule. But if there's anything that you want us to discuss or address, dig into, we'd love to do that. If you have something you want us to celebrate, like we've done an ode to mothers, an ode to the office, an ode to pizza. If there's something that is actually cool based off our ratings, then let us know.
Seinfeld?
We should do a Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah. I got good things to say about Seinfeld.
That'd be a good one. So,
Giddy
a
up.
couple of things. Do what?
Giddy up.
Oh, giddy up. Yeah.
I said these pretzels are making me thirsty.
I'm too slow on this
Be a
stuff.
pirate.
Because there's see, I can't even. So I have a New Year's resolution that we really organize our soundboard.
Find a way to organize it.
Yeah, because here I am, scrolling around looking for.
I smell Heaven's Bakery cooking up something good for you, sister.
I know we have Seinfeld clips, and I'm like, okay, well, where are these? And I can't even. There's this one. Hello. So, all right, we'll do an ode to Seinfeld.
Yes.
But maybe on a little more serious topic, there's a few things we have looked at talking about. In no particular order, we're going to have a conversation on the age of the Earth, creation, and how old is this planet really? And are we billions of years old, or are we 6,000 years old, or somewhere in the middle? So we want to discuss that and just creation in general. And then also, what is there a difference between the God of the Old Testament and the God of the New Testament? Because when you read those two, he sure does seem to act different between the two. So, but is he? Has his character really changed between the two of those? So that should be a good conversation. A big question that's out there is, why does God let bad things happen? We just had a tornado go through the Clarksville area, and there's one that went through North Nashville. A lot of death, a lot of destruction, things like that. Why does a loving, good God allow those types of things to happen? And then maybe on a more specific view, why do bad things happen to God's people? Like, what do God's people? Why do God's people suffer? It's promised that we'll go through that in Scripture, but why? And I think all of us here, and probably most of you listening, have gone through something really difficult or hard, or you're in the middle of it now. What's the purpose of that in our lives? And then something that maybe a lot of people are thinking about now that the pickle dropped is: are we in the end times?
Oh,
Is that a sign of the times?
I think I heard a trumpet sound when the pickle dropped.
Oh, all right. Pack your bags. And I think in that would just be a discussion of end times. Were Tim LaHaye and that other dude, were they right?
Kirk Cameron.
Yeah. Kirk Cameron. The other guy that wrote the Left Behind series.
Jerry B.
Jerry
Jenkins.
B. Jenkins. Yeah. Is
Jared
Nikolai
B.
Carpathia
Jenkins.
a legitimate person? And then what about Christians and guns? We're going to jump into that. Should Christians own them? Yeah. Grant's America right now. And probably when we get around Easter, I think a great question for us to address is: was it really necessary for Jesus to die? Could God have accomplished his plan any other way? Was that the only way it could happen? We're hoping to have a podcast, a special guest, Brian Reeves, on in 2024. Yeah. He is the voice of the governors.
Let's go P.
Let's go P. Yep, at Austin P State University.
Maybe he could talk about the one-armed basketball player
we need
that we
him.
Talked about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Because he does radio broadcast. Oh, is the
yes, the game is on. That happened.
It's a replay
3 weeks ago
of the Monday Night Football game 3 weeks ago.
That was such a great game.
It was a great game.
Okay.
I don't want to give any spoilers and say what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
On that,
0-0
Ryan
before
Reeves.
things
So
got
crazy that the Titans pulled it out and somehow got a playoff berth.
So yeah, it'd be crazy.
On the Brian Reeves podcast idea, I may or may not ask him if he ever announced that the audience should give the one-armed basketball player a big hand. Give him a hand, everybody. Big hand.
Everybody just went blank on my screen. Okay.
You're frozen. But
Yeah, you're blank on my screen.
I didn't know if
And I tried to play the clip, and it's not playing.
I didn't know if God was like, all right, Grant, you've gone too far. Shutting you down. So yeah, Brian Reeves, voice of Austin P, we hope to have on the program. And then the youth pastor at our church who had the amazing Yo Mama joke idea. He is, we all have a background in student ministry. This guy, he is 23, 24, young guy, about a year and a half out of college, married, got a baby on the way. And he's got a really great perspective on youth ministry. So we thought it'd be good to talk with him. And saving the best for last of all those is we hope to schedule a podcast to have David Cates on.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
And we're going to do an intervention with Joey when he shows up.
Ooh.
So
I was just
I don't know,
recording.
we may not do that.
I was recording Josh's screen and him because it looks like he's doing a podcast with himself.
I do talk to myself, if y'all remember that.
So Grant is saying we all completely froze, and
Grant's
he can't
frozen
hear
on my
us.
screen.
So it's going to be a big gamble when.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Grant's gone.
Grant's gone.
Grant's not, and so is the pickle.
Did Grant just sign off?
the pickle.
Oh,
See what happened.
Can
here.
we cut and then come back in? Like a
we might have. Okay, wait.
technical difficulty.
I think Grant is coming. Okay, Grant is back.
Can you hear us, Grant?
We can see Grant.
He's still
He may be
frozen
setting
exactly
things
the
up.
same as he was.
Hey, at least
he's
one
moving.
thing won't change in 2024. That's our technical difficulties.
So the pickle is already striking here.
It is. And the Peace Day Resistance for topics next year, or special guests, is we hope to have David Cates on at some point. And we're going to do an intervention. Drum rolls were a little late, but still.
2024 is starting off with a bang.
Yeah,
Oh
it is.
yeah.
I tell you. So we got to have David on because David comments a lot on our podcast, but he does it through direct messages. So he doesn't get the rest of the world, and the DudeFax family does not get to enjoy David's humor and outlook, and we do. And so we want to have him on to be able to share that. But we are so thankful that over the course of 2023, so many of you commented and shared great things, and every week Ryan shares comments. But we thought, kicking off a new year, hopefully more comments, even better comments, that we would kind of round robin this thing and talk a little bit about what were some of our favorite comments and discussions that we had over the past year. Anybody want to start us off with a favorite comment or interaction?
I like the comment Joey left. It just said, was it just LOL?
LOL. Yeah.
That was
That was the only comment we had. For
Yeah.
that week.
So he at least kept us from feeling like really bad about ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we need him on the show.
Yeah, buddy.
Relatedly, oh, go ahead.
There's a couple for me with either one of the many of our flat Earth discussions on social
Yes.
media with various random people finding our podcast, or also Seco. I think Seco made it on top.
Yeah, Seco.
His
Seco de
terrible
Mayo.
basketball opinions on the LeBron debate. So
I liked when Tad told me that Pam doesn't think I'm funny.
We haven't gotten a lot of Tad comments.
Yeah.
No.
We need
Tad
more
fell
Tad
off.
in 2024.
Yeah.
Come back to
Yeah.
it,
I need
Tad.
you, Tad.
at one point there was the discrepancy on whether it was Tad or Pam.
Mm-hmm.
Pam.
Tam.
Maybe that's why
Tad.
they stopped.
Did we offend you guys with that?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Come back and look at my pickle.
So Ryan, you sort of snatched mine too, because Seco, my interaction with Seco was so much fun from the basketball takes. But then I was just going back and looking at the flat Earth video, the first flat Earth video. This is the one where we had that guy named Jay that just went psychotic, and it's the one where Josh said that the Bible talks about flat Earth.
let the Bible teaches the earth is flat.
But we had so many comments. I think it ended up getting over like 100, but I just got onto it and they've been deleted because I think that this Jay or whoever he was decided that he was going to delete his comments or his account got deleted. But I found it was funny that going back to Seco, I wrote as the DudeFax account. I said, I'm wondering if Kyrie wasn't a flat earther, would he be in the GOAT conversation? And Seco replied to that, and he said, "I can't let him in the conversation." So yeah, just
That's one of my favorite things about Seco is like after the initial like interaction with him, he just like pops in every now and then and gives us his 2 cents.
yeah. Just good stuff.
It's like
I do think it's
the Earth was flat until they
Yeah.
buried Seco's mom.
Oh, dang! Calling
Make sure,
Seco
make
out.
sure not to tag him on that.
Hopefully, he saw our previous videos about your mama jokes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go back.
yeah. You need to know that in
Make sure.
context.
4 episodes back now.
We're not just randomly insulting your mother. It's
That's right.
So
We're very intentionally insulting your mom.
Our most viewed TikTok was when Ryan drank the Peeps Pepsi.
Oh, I think Soda Sommelier might be one of my favorite things I've done.
Oh, we need to do more of that. So maybe we can
do
step
need to
up
bring
Soda
that back.
Sommelier
I'll
in
get,
2024.
I'm going to get just a collection of sodas. That way I got some on deck. Just whenever
Okay.
I want to pull that out.
Okay.
On what?
That'd be good.
I got a crap on deck that could choke a donkey.
Just because you said on deck, it made me think of that.
DudeFax.
From last week. Nice. So glad to know you brought those
I'm still carrying
back
them around.
this week.
They stay in my pocket.
Have you used them yet? Down south?
I'm sure that I have. Yeah.
Okay.
My pickle's been with me every minute of every day since birth.
I'll probably need some after my dad's smoking a turkey on. Probably need some.
So one of my favorite commenters is somebody who really has an affinity for Ryan, and that is Detroit Babe.
That's right.
I was
Ever
going.
since she got really offended about my camera angle that one time.
I was going. I don't know why she said this, but I was going back and looking at the video where we talk about Clarksville being the worst city or the 17th worst city to drive in. And she replied, Detroit is bad, shootings daily. Which I'm like, what do shootings have to do with driving? But
It might not be driving in
Yeah,
Detroit.
it's. I'm sure people are driving and shooting.
yeah. But
We can revisit that on our guns podcast.
that's true.
You know, I think one of our most Tua got hurt a lot in that game. I think
3 weeks
one
ago.
of our most substantive commenters is the Sand and Coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, we get a lot of good content.
Yes. Very
from
good
him,
interaction.
so- Yeah, thanks for being a part of the podcast. Definitely.
Yeah, the elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
Memes that he made for us.
Yeah.
And of course, Ethan. We got to give
Yeah.
Ethan a shout out. Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Who is a
We
freaking
gotta.
commenter.
Tyler is always working hard in the comment section to
He is.
give us some.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
feedback.
It always tickles my pickle.
I feel like we have a few of you out there who are watching, soaking in the content, but not commenting.
Just
ever.
lurking.
Because I can
Stealth
see
listeners.
when I put a poll up on Instagram, I can actually see who voted on it. And there's some people who vote every single time, but they never comment on anything. So I'm just calling out anyone who votes but never
We
comments.
should call out by name.
Yeah,
Make them feel guilty.
I can't remember their names right now, but
I'm gonna have to look one up on Instagram.
Posting
Don't
polls
worry
on
about this.
Instagram.
See, we forget your name if you don't.
that's right.
Yeah. If you comment, we'll remember your name.
That's right. You'll become a Seco.
And don't you want to be? Don't you want us to rail on you for your bad takes on the podcast? I mean, to remember you for your well thought out opinions.
I haven't done this, and it's been like a month now, but congratulations, Seco, on LeBron winning the in-season tournament. I mean, that clearly is going to put him
Is-
over the top of Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, it might give
Michael never did
Not.
that.
Who cares?
So, what was that all about? I just saw like the other day that it was the final game,
Yep.
and
And it was like a month ago,
so
and
what?
it felt like it was 2 days ago.
What in the world? Like, was it? Did they just pick certain teams, or was it the whole league?
So it's kind of like football in Europe, soccer. That they every team is
Soccer.
in like a pool, and
But it's
They-
a real sport, not soccer.
yes, every team's in a pool, and so they play games against each other, and whatever their records are at the end of the certain amount of time, that's who they decide makes it into the tournament. I think there are 8 teams from each conference, so Eastern and Western. So they made the tournament, and then they played the tournament. Lakers beat the Pacers.
Oh,
So
okay,
LeBron is
okay.
hoisting the very first in-season tournament trophy.
But these championships will have an asterisk after
Yeah.
them.
So he does have
Asterisk.
one more in-season
Asterisk.
championship trophy than Michael Jordan.
Oh.
So there's a episode of Everyone Loves Raymond, which is one of my absolute favorite shows, and he realizes he can't say the word asterisk, and I can't either. At least I say it how it should be said, just asterisk, right? That's how.
Yeah.
But
Asterisk?
it's not really spelled that way. But asterisk, but asterisk after it. But it's asterisk. Say it.
Asterisk.
Asterisk.
Asterd.
I don't know. Ask Barry Bonds. He should.
Ayo.
Astrid?
Or
Astrid.
Astrid?
Yeah.
Wire. one of those.
Asteroids.
Astrid. What did he think it was? Astrid.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
How's Astrid?
Do you have asteroids? Nope, my dad does. Can't even sit down some days.
Astrid risk.
What were we talking about?
By the way, there's 2 Monday night games on. Did we even know that? I mean,
Yeah.
there was.
Because the
Otherwise,
Packers are playing.
Yeah.
The Packers and the
Yeah.
Giants as well.
Yeah,
We're
that
playing.
ugly team.
Oh, yeah. Grant.
Yes.
I
I'm rooting
just
for the
looking at
Giants
corner
tonight.
Thinking that the ESPN had the wrong graphic on.
The wrong logos for the teams.
Where
How
my
dare you,
computer
ESPN?
is,
So
I don't
stupid.
see the bottom info bar.
Yeah.
And so I do see the
See-
Titans Miami. Oh, turnover
and there's
3 weeks
a
ago.
Turnover, wow.
That's right.
Man. I was excited when I watched that live. Not
Yeah,
as excited
I
now
got
because
real
I know the
excited.
outcome.
Yeah. A fortnight and a week ago. It's pretty great.
So we're excited about 2024. So many good things. I feel like I've gotten derailed here. But a lot of great moments from the show. One of my favorite moments was when we had your mom on, Josh.
Oh, yeah, your mom.
Your mom.
You know she had cancer.
college. I won't bring that up again. I'm going to tickle Grant's pickle.
Cancer does that to me.
A little too far, cross the line.
Hey, it tickled Lance's pickle.
That's when you
man.
need a little too far across the
I
line.
know. I played that
A
a
little too far,
early.
cross the line.
It's fine. He's a cheater.
Yeah, that's true.
The Uniballer.
Just like Michigan, who I can't believe is playing today.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You know, but I forgot about on this play, there was actually a penalty again. Oh, no. Never mind. After they got the turnover, there was a penalty. I was remembering wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. All right.
And that I got this call from this telemarketer 3 weeks ago that wouldn't stop. It's crazy.
Sorry.
So we like doing podcasts in the future. And speaking of future, you know, every year around this time, New Year's, people start talking about New Year's resolutions. I resolve to do this. And then you always have the pastors who do the, you know, the Jesus jukes. Where's that at?
Jesus, Duke.
Yeah, there you go.
Jesus Juke.
The Jesus juke sermons like, hey, you don't have to wait for New Year's to make a resolution. And, every day is a day to turn back to Jesus, which is true. We absolutely believe that. But what about New Year's resolutions? Do you guys make them? Are they a healthy thing as Christians? Should we encourage people to make resolutions? I mean, it's always good to encourage people to take a long look in the mirror and pray and think about how can I change and be more Christ-like, right?
Every year, Erica's and my anniversary is December 30th. So every year on our anniversary, we ask,
Happy
how was
anniversary
the
2 days ago.
Thank you. It was epic. We always ask, when did we feel closest to the Lord last year? When did we feel furthest from the Lord last year? When did we feel closest to one another last year? When did we feel furthest from one another last year? And we talk about family goals, some financial goals, relationship goals. This is a good way. I think the most important part of that for us has been the reflecting, to see like where God has brought us through this year and kind of do another Thanksgiving. And then if the Lord should tarry, what we feel like he would have us do as a family. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I
I
feel
like
like
that.
I feel like reflection is good. Like it's a natural time, you know, the end of the year, the beginning of a new year, for us to reflect, and it kind of like naturally lends itself to that. I think the problem is when we only reflect at that time of year. I think that's the key, is that, you know, make it a regular thing. Don't just wait till New Year.
The unexamined life is not worth living, according to Socrates.
Josh is going to resolve to not be a Titans fan after that pick six.
I didn't even see that. I mean, 3 weeks ago, I didn't even see it. So.
I resolved to not be a
Yeah.
Titans
I
fan.
mean-
never was a Titans.
I think we all went into this game a few weeks ago knowing that we weren't going to win.
Yeah.
But, you know, always thinking maybe.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
the colors are really similar. He
They are.
he kind of got confused.
Was Will Levis throwing to a lineman there? That's my question.
That was stupid, Will. I mean, still a few weeks later, it makes me just shake my head. So my New Year's resolution is to floss.
Your teeth?
Not the dance.
Floss like a boss.
That was Michael Scott's resolution.
I like
It
to use
was.
towel floss when I ever get a shower. And gets everything
towel
nice and
floss.
dry, yeah.
I do that with hotel showers.
That's true, yeah.
You can't ever reuse a towel after that.
No, it's
Yeah.
just done.
No, it becomes my guest towels.
Remind me to never shower at your house.
Hotels.
Yeah.
I always like the idea of a fresh start. Obviously, it can happen anytime, but there is something about a new year that just kind of reminds you that what has happened and is behind you, and you're now moving forward into new territory, if you will. At the beginning of the year, you don't really fully know what the year is going to hold, and so I think it's a good time to start thinking, what are some things I can do? How can I be more disciplined? I like the questions you shared, Grant, that you have with your wife. I may even steal that because I think that's good. And what a great practice. And so I would never knock anybody for having New Year's resolutions. Obviously we've heard the stats where, most people, their New Year's resolutions fail, and that's true. But, I think that, I would always encourage people to be very.
I love you guys. I got to run.
And Grant's got to run. So
Pickle
if
emergency?
you want to leave your pickle up, we'll talk to your pickle.
Oh, he's gone. I guess he didn't want to.
Oh.
So Grant is escaping early.
He already has a busy year.
Yep, that's
Lots
right.
of things to do on New Year's Day.
Lots happen.
Yeah. So I know. So we are. I know landing this bird as well, but hunting the bird.
The rest of this episode is just going to be commentary on the Titans game from 3 weeks ago.
I don't necessarily do New Year's resolutions. There are things I think about. Okay, I want to do this next year, do this more. But it's not I'm going to do this. But a few years ago, we attended started attending church that we were at for a few years. And they always did a 40 days of fasting and prayer at the beginning of the year. And they had certain ways they would encourage you to participate in that. But it was always open to whatever you feel like you could do without. And so that's more of kind of what I've tried to do, or just think about is like, okay, what's something that it would be healthy if I just took a break from it for a certain period of time. And there were a couple things a few years ago that I took a break from, and they weren't bad things. They were just influencing me in some ways that I didn't really want to, maybe kind of get me in a bad mood, or, made me real judgmental or whatever. And so, stop listening to them, and I haven't gone back to them because it's been so freeing just mentally to not have those things. So I think that's also just a good way to look at, the new year. Is there something that might not be necessarily bad? But when you listen to it or participate in it, or whatever it might be, could have some negative impact, or it might open up time for you to listen and hear more clearly from the Lord. So maybe it's not just doing something, but removing something for a period of time as well.
I just want to say that I think that ever since Grant left, our recording has been stopped.
Mine still says it's recording.
Mine does too.
Mine says great recording is uploaded, and tells me I can close the tab.
Oh, maybe you just have an extra tab open for his.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you're showing up on ours. Recording.
Yeah.
As long as I'm recording.
So, like we said, our technical difficulties may continue. In the
What
new year.
a start to the year.
Yeah.
And I do just want to say, in regards to your comment about people saying that New Year's resolutions always fail, I think that 10 false starts is better than not starting at all.
Yep.
Unless you're the Titans.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, I don't know. They've had a lot of false starts, and hey, that guy can punt, even though their other punter, Stonehouse.
Hey, you know what? They may not be able to score, but
They can
I got
punt.
punt.
I'm telling you, that's the thing. Like they've got, he's injured out for the year, but Stonehouse, like they've had the best punter in the league. Thank goodness, because they have punted so many times.
Has anybody in Nashville written a song for Stonehouse? That just sounds like a name. Stonehouse.
Maybe we need to,
Yeah.
be
His first name Randy.
yeah.
Randy Stonehouse. He's got the best foot around.
But there was also Randy Bullock, the place kicker. Randy, he was called Fat Randy. I can't remember what his last name
Yeah.
was.
Oh yeah.
But there's Fat Randy, and then Stonehouse, I guess, would be like
Stonehouse.
Leg Randy.
Well, hey, we're glad you joined us for this
Sounds
little
weird.
dollop. And hopefully you made it through all the glitches. But hey, nothing is going to be
difficulties.
perfect. And except for all of our future episodes, they will be.
No problems at all.
And you'll just have your ears tickled.
Mhm.
So hopefully you're in for a happy and healthy new year. And if anything, we want to encourage you to comment, listen, join the discussion as we talk about some cool things and get into some exciting topics as we explore all kinds of things, as it relates to life, love,
Liberty.
the pursuit of happiness, biblical things,
I was trying to keep the L thing going.
and
Laughter,
lice.
Live, laugh,
love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lice. Lymphoma. It's cancer.
Louisville.
My mom had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So, that's
Only
part of
Grant
that.
can
Just
handle
staying in the theme.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Leukemia.
So, thanks for sticking with us in 23, and
Yeah,
here's
that's
to 24.
Yeah. Join
But
us.
before we sign off, I just have to say I'm looking down, and all I see is like a protein bar that looks like poo and the word poo written underneath it.
This was sitting next to me on Joshy's poo. It does kind of look nutty, doesn't it? Yeah. So.
It's
All
little
right.
nutty.
Oh.
Happy New Year, baby.